Hey there guys, welcome back to Texas Beer Reviews, and on this episode we will be looking at St. Arnold's Bishop's Barrel number 15. Number 15 is their barley wine aged in rye whiskey barrels. So this just came out yesterday on Monday. Today is Tuesday the 4th of October. And this is the first year that they started distributing it to stores. It's usually only available at bars and then sold on site and or to go. And I usually don't get to make it out because I always work Mondays, and of course, like most people, but I work later on in the evening, and I can never usually get a chance to go swing by. It's always a lot easier when I'm you can go to work and can grab beer. But anyway, I picked this up at Central Market, and super person, and about $6.70 something, I think, a bottle. I don't know. It was under $7 a bottle, which isn't so bad for 12 ounces of a rye whiskey barrel aged barley wine. But a little bit on the beer. Doesn't have much on the bottle. Has a description on the back. It's kind of talking about the beer a little bit, and it has a bottle date on here, but on the website it has everything. So it was brewed August 6th of 2015. It was racked on September 18th, 2015 into barrels, and then it was bottled on September 13th. So almost for an entire year it sat in barrels. It's English style barley wine, so it's not going to be as hoppy, a bit more focus on that kind of the malt character of it. And then it was aged in Whistle Pig rye whiskey barrels, which I'm not very familiar with. The original gravity has the final gravity, and then it was 10.5% alcohol prior to barreling, and then after the barreling it was 13.1, so almost 3% jump in ABV, which I don't know much about barrel aging, but it leads me to believe that those are some decently wet barrels, which is pretty cool. And the bitterness is 28 IBUs. So I haven't had it yet, just picked it up yesterday, but it sounds very tasty, and I've heard some good things. Been kind of looking at some early reviews, and things look pretty good, so let's get into it and see what we think. So of course, St. Arnold is here in Houston, Texas. It's the oldest craft brewery in Houston, and they have this series called the Bishop's Barrel series, where it's like every year to buy, and it's like annually or biannually. They will have a new release, and it's always something aged in barrels. Wow, so I can smell that already. Definitely. So pours out a dark, kind of a dark red, almost slightly brown, dark amber hue. It's pretty clear. It's not hazy at all. I mean, you can see right through it. Slightly off-white head that's about one finger. But, looks pretty nice. So let's go ahead and check out the aroma. Oh yeah, big caramel and whiskey. Definitely big on the nose here. My allergies are acting up a little bit, but that is nice. So much rich toffee too, almost like a kind of a nutty chocolate type quality too from this as well. That caramel and the rye whiskey, it's really kind of the star of the show here. With the English styles, you're not really going to find any of that kind of citrusiness that shows up on American barley wines. English styles use English style hops, which are higher in beta acids, so they're not going to be as pungent, kind of like the American hops, the American barley wines that they use, which will be a lot more bitter, a lot more hop forward. Bigfoot, prime example. So I prefer English barley wines, definitely quite a bit more over the American counterpart. Anyway, smells pretty good, so let's go ahead and check out the taste. Cheers. Ooh. Well, that's got some booze. Oh, but it's pretty nice. So, yeah, tons of caramel and whiskey. Again, like I mentioned, on the nose. Picks right up on the taste. Toffee, there's some of those kind of darker chocolate type flavors on it as well. And, some of those darker dried fruits. Definitely raisins and prunes, things like that. But the barrel character is big. As soon as I took that first sip, you can just feel the heat coming through my nose. And yeah, it's pretty boozy. It's definitely fresh off the bat. I think that it'll calm down, of course, as it ages. But really, besides that, it's really, really smooth. There's definitely picking up that kind of oakiness too from the barrel. There is that sort of drier, almost tannic-like woodiness that you get on the finish that lingers. It really kind of balances out the beer, because it's decently sweet. It's not cloying at all, but it's nice to kind of have that balance where it doesn't really stay too sweet. I was picking up like subtle, like cherry-like flavors as well, kind of like a darker cherry, like a cherry wood almost. The mouthfeel, it's not super thick. It's actually pretty more on the medium, maybe almost medium thin side. It does feel pretty light. It's got a bit of a stickiness to it, but it's not as sticky as some barley wines that I've had. But it makes it pretty easy to drink, and like I mentioned, definitely get the alcohol. That booze comes through the nose. You can feel it warming, but I don't think that it deters from the beer. I think it works pretty well, and I think that'll of course settle down over time. And like I mentioned, it's got that oakiness there on the back end that dries out, kind of balances out the sweetness of the beer. Carbonation, of course, mid-low. It's pretty good for the style. I like low carbs on barley wines, so it feels pretty good for the style. But yeah, this is a fantastic little barley wine. I think that I'm really close to a 4.5. I think that with maybe just a bit of time, that booziness to kind of go down, I think I would be pretty solid on a 4.5. I think I'll go there. I think I'm more along like a 4.35, 4.4 out of 5 stars, but it's close enough to a 4.5. So, I mean, if you've seen this around, it's probably still available at bars, at least and some of the bars probably still to go, but at least to on-site. I would definitely check it out, especially if you're a barley wine fan. I think that the barrel character is huge on this, and really shows, which is really nice. And it's got a huge oak presence. It's a bit of their own twist on it. It's definitely one of the more unique, I think, English style barley wines that I've had, and I like that a lot. Definitely kind of that has that kind of unique cherry wood almost like thing going for it. That's pretty different. I don't think I've had that really before. But anyway, that's pretty much it for St. Arnold's Bishop's Barrel number 15. So see it, try it. Definitely highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the style of beer. So, but with all that said, I've got a few more videos coming up, of course, too, from the rest from the bottle share that we had. Not too much more. Just kind of been slowly uploading those over a period of time. Just kind of been hanging out, drinking Yellow Rose. So this is kind of the first thing I've reviewed, I guess, or opened that's different since then. But yeah, I'll have some different stuff, coming up after that, I guess. So anyway, back to more Texas things, I think, hopefully. So with all that said, think global, drink local, and cheers.